Hamilton, Ontario's response today, and possibly over the next couple of months, will determine if expansion to Hamilton is required by the industry-leading anti-youth gangs and illegal gun violence and economic-motivated youth crimes organization. Let us take you back to earlier in 2026. Are you aware of a shooting inside the Jackson Square Mall in Hamilton, where a 14-year-old boy shot and killed a 16-year-old boy on April 24th, 2026? Or how about another shooting at a community housing building at Main Street and Caroline Street in Hamilton, where a 19-year-old was shot and killed almost a week later on April 30th, 2026? Or how about the 3 law enforcement officers who were killed in the line of duty in Toronto, in Northern Ontario and Montreal within 2 weeks in June 2026? When the economy goes down, violence escalates. When violence escalates, taxes goes up. In 2024, industry-leading anti-youth gangs and illegal gun violence and economic-motivated youth crimes organization, Silence the Violence and Shun the Guns, started visiting Hamilton, Ontario, because we started observing a steady uptick in violent incidents. So far, we visited Hamilton over 70 times. Although our sales are showing promise, we can only guarantee 100 visits to Hamilton. After we reach that threshold, if sales volumes are below our sales targets, we will have to assess if it is viable to extend our visits for our intended expansion to Hamilton. Toronto has much bigger problems right now, but we already made a commitment 2 years ago to attempt to expand to Hamilton. Our objective for Hamilton is to establish a permanent presence in order to get ahead of the level of crime and violence Toronto is experiencing now. We started seeing the same patterns developing over 2 years ago in Hamilton we saw several years ago in Toronto. Hamilton has a unique opportunity to avoid making the same mistakes Toronto had made. For example, taxes in Toronto spiked by 24% in just 3 years, and crime and violence has continued to escalate. There is a question that needs to be answered by the residents of Hamilton. Should Silence the Violence and Shun the Guns continue to expand to Hamilton? Founded in the Toronto Financial District in 2010, our objective is to create and offer employment opportunities to at-risk youth before they get recruited into gangs. So we are working on a project to launch a car washing and lawn care service first in Toronto, and then replicate it in Hamilton. But we need to fast-track our grassroots collective movement here in order to achieve the minimum sales target. At-risk youth unemployment is always very high, and who's recruiting them for economic-motivated youth crimes? Gangs and crime rings. We need to bring at-risk youth unemployment all the way down. How? By disrupting gang recruitment. We are a multi-industry leading organization because we follow the guiding principles of economic science. This employment opportunity is exclusively for 10 to 12-year-old at-risk youth in order to steer them away from economic-motivated youth crimes and onto a pathway for success. Studies and research proves that when an at-risk youth is placed on the pathway for success, the chances of the at-risk youth engaging in economic-motivated youth crimes will be significantly reduced. Pay them $20 to $25 per hour and teach them how to close the wealth gap. It is very difficult for a gang to recruit an at-risk youth when he or she can solve their economic disparity problems. Again, the objective with this project is to disrupt gang recruitment for economic-motivated youth crimes. Because every time a successful gang recruitment disruption takes place, crime goes down. The economic-motivated youth crimes includes retail thefts, smash and grabs at jewelry and cell phone stores, auto thefts, carjackings, break-ins at homes and businesses. We have seen these economic-motivated youth crimes on TV and social media over and over and over because almost all of these youth are economically compromised. The at-risk youth who engages in these economic-motivated youth crimes are between the ages of approximately 14 to 16. And this is why the rich, the powerful, the famous, and even intelligent legal and law-abiding gun owners started buying our items immediately after inception in 2011 in the Toronto Financial District in Yorkville. Notables includes Toronto Mayor at the time, Tory, who did a photo op with the founder 8 years ago on the night of the fundraiser for the Danforth mass shooting, who the founder knows for over 13 years, and Bay Street legend, one of the top investment brokers in North America, and former Dragon's Den TV star Michael Wekerle, who the founder knows for over 10 years. Girl Guides sell their cookies to fund their objectives. Silence the Violence and Shun the Guns have over 125 items and services you can use to raise awareness in your network to continue growing our grassroots collective movement and to fund our projects. We are urging you to consider, in order to reduce crime, violence, and keep taxes low, is to buy our items that has been sold for years in the Toronto Financial District, Yorkville, upscale areas, and beyond. In order for our historic grassroots collective movement to keep growing, we must develop a relationship with you. That relationship would start by meeting you in person so that we can identify you when you continually buy our items, just like what took place in the Toronto Financial District in Yorkville for several years. In order to use them to rapidly raise awareness, in other words, just like we have gone viral multiple times on Twitter, we need to go viral in our merchandise and services sales. This means you must try to find a minimum 10 new people annually to buy our items to make a recommended minimum $100 purchase. That would be a total of a minimum $1,000 in sales, which is 10 people. In other words, we need you to try to get 10 people in your network to make a minimum $100 purchase from us. Taking this route is much better than paying annual tax hikes in the thousands of dollars, and then little to nothing happens afterwards. Our representative can recommend a combination of items to meet the $100 recommended minimum purchase. Here's our popular items we have for sale. Our standard Silence the Violence and Shun the Guns t-shirt, starting at $35. Our Silence the Violence and Shun the Guns branded wrist bracelet for $20. Our standard Silence the Violence and Shun the Guns coffee mug and coaster set for $60. Our standard Silence the Violence and Shun the Guns two-tone tote bag for $60. Our standard Silence the Violence and Shun the Guns dog bandana for $30. Our V.I.N protector, $35. Or our standard Silence the Violence and Shun the Guns legal and law-abiding gun owner t-shirt, starting at $40. Your payment must be handed to only our management team after our team representatives ask for you to make a purchase. We accept cash, or you can use our secure electronic payment wireless terminals for payment. We do not accept donations. Instead, when you buy an item from us, you can use it to raise awareness so that our grassroots collective movement continues to grow rapidly. If you want to learn about our history, our website, endorsements, our customer service direct order phone number for reorders, or to contact us by either phone or text, or our social media links, you can find that information in the description area below.